Drake?
No, I think, bro.
Have I led Drake to think that we was cool to a point where I would cater my comment?
Joe, you've done that to a lot.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Duran Bernard was a phenomenal guest. Honestly, a hilarious way to start the week, and Joe Budden didn't do him dirty at all. He's been speaking highly of Duran on the pod, and now we see why. Duran came in refreshing, funny, and not afraid to really get into the nitty-gritty once he got comfortable. Super talented dude. I first got hip to him from his collaboration with Kaytranada, then from seeing him on red carpets, his NPR Tiny Desk concert performance, and of course, the Grammys. What made the interview stand out is that he was completely himself. He wasn't trying to cater to anyone or be overly PC. He genuinely made the room laugh, and the conversation flowed naturally. Because let's be real, some guests come in and it feels like you're pulling teeth, not Duran. And then that moment where Joe learned in real time that you gotta pronounce every letter, yeah, hid and hit are two very different things. Duran's face said it all. When Parks Valet asked if he could see himself acting, I'm not gonna lie, I immediately thought of Abbott Elementary. He has that personality for it. And come to find out, that's actually one of his favorite shows. See, I know a thing or two. Overall, great guest. I could definitely see him coming back again. Now, let's get into the in-house conversations. Flip was on this Patreon episode, and I actually liked how they used that space to dig deeper on Drake's projects. They added more perspective and really tried to get to the core of things. But honestly, they just couldn't get out of each other's way. You could tell Joe hit that point where he was like, man, go ahead, once he felt like he couldn't fully get his thoughts off. It felt like everybody was trying to speak before they forgot their point. But Joe said two things that really made me stop and think. First, he questioned whether he may have misled Drake. Like maybe Drake thought they were cool enough for Joe to go easy on him or cater his commentary. And that's a real question. If you're cool with someone, or at least you think you are, and they don't like your project, do they owe you a softer take? Should someone with a platform lie about their opinion just because y'all are cool? That made me think about that long post Drake wrote years ago. Because let's be honest, if you truly don't care about someone, you're not writing a whole essay. You're just gonna shrug it off and keep it moving for the most part. And we all know Drake has had time to sit with himself over the past couple of years. That man got parked, and if certain situations had never happened, he probably wouldn't have realized that some of these industry relationships weren't as solid as he thought. Now he's putting out these projects, getting them out the way, and it feels like he's setting himself up for a reset, deciding who he wants around him and how he wants to move going forward. No New Friends is a little different now, even though at one point he had plenty. And the second thing Joe said was,
And Kendrick, I would.
For motivating him this way?
Forgetting on here, forgetting where he's at now.
Yeah,
When the grass is cut, the snakes will show.
Yeah.
And I gotta
There's
thank
gonna
my
come
little
a point
homie Nas for that,
where
though.
Drake
Yes.
is far enough removed
Yes.
to be
Yeah.
like, you know what? I
needed that.
truly appreciate. If some
when Drake showed up and didn't want to sit down on his own and somebody had to do it for him, I get it, I do. But I don't know if we're ever gonna get that full sit-down moment people are expecting. Even if it comes, it might just be a slick line in a song, something subtle. I just don't know. Because I see this whole situation two ways. On one hand, it's a good thing Drake got to see who his real friends are. Just imagine thinking you're cool with someone, having them in your house, breaking bread, all of that, only to find out they secretly don't rock with you like that. Nah, I don't ever want that kind of friendship, because the fake ones, they're the most dangerous. They know too much. They know your business, your moves, everything. You don't want that kind of energy around you. Now, I had a wild thought. Hear me out. What if Drake pulled up to a Patreon episode on the Joe Budden podcast? Just imagine that. After all the sub-talk Joe's been doing, imagine the tension, imagine the views. You already know Drake is coming prepared with notes in his phone, and let's not forget, he's an entertainer. He's gonna make it a show. Picture Joe Budden and Drake really sitting down and hashing things out from way back. And yeah, no high chair this time. He's sitting right next to Joe. Now, will it ever happen? Probably not, but play along with me. What would you want that episode to look like? Do you want a full cast, a selective cast, or should it be one of those classic one-on-one Joe interviews like back in the day? Let me know. All in all, this was a great Patreon episode, one of the funniest in a while. The back and forth, the random moments, it just worked. And Joe explaining that I'm not bisexual story, yeah, that's always gonna hit. But it also shows something important. This content reaches way beyond just the core fan base. It's not just the JBP community watching, the whole internet can see this. And I'll be honest, even me, sometimes I'm talking like it's just my subscribers. Whole time, anybody can come across the channel at any moment. But that's cool, as long as people respect the vibe. Shout out to y'all though, for real. Solid community over here. And I do think we're gonna hear even more Drake talk this week now that people have had time to really sit with the projects. Some folks are still catching bars and hitting gems, others are like, nah, I'm good. And that's fine, music is subjective. Oh, and before I go, that Rick Ross's hustling take, yeah, that was wild. I rock with you when you're right, but we're not about to act like hustling wasn't a huge part of his brand and music, come on now. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch y'all in the next one.